the formation of gametes. It is the formation of gametes in the gonads. The gametogenesis include spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Spermatogenesis, oogenesis. So first of all, let's take a look on the gametogenesis. Beta spermatogenesis, as we said about the spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis, spermiation. Should take care of these three things: spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis, and spermiation. Spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is the process of formation of sperms in seminiferous tubules of the testes. Spermatogenesis is the process of formation of sperms in seminiferous tubules of the testes. Stages of spermatogenesis, we can say up to the formation of spermatid and spermiogenesis. First of all, let's take a look on the spermatid formation. The spermatogonia, sperm mother cells produce spermatids up to their, what do you say, formation of spermatid. Spermiogenesis, spermatids transform into sperm, we can say spermiogenesis. So just see the diagram, take a screenshot, and in this particular area, very, very important here, who is undergoing meiosis, who is undergoing mitosis, and meiosis. That meiosis 1 and prophase 1 that we discussed in the case of female reproductive system. यहाँ तो कुछ नहीं रहता, directly meiosis 1 हो जाता completely. That spermatogonia undergo mitosis, primary spermatocyte undergo meiosis 1. Primary spermatocyte undergo meiosis 1. This is going to be the question. Then meiosis 1 results the formation of secondary spermatocyte. That secondary spermatocyte is haploid. Then secondary spermatocyte undergo meiosis 2, which results the formation of spermatid, and the spermatids are going to be in haploid condition. Then spermatid development into the spermatozoa, which we can say spermiogenesis. यहाँ पे ध्यान रखना बेटा, spermiogenesis different from spermatogenesis. Okay, spermiogenesis means formation of spermatozoa from spermatid. Production of sperms we call spermatogenesis. Okay, so this is the difference. You people need to find it in between. ये दोनों का difference आपको देखना पड़ेगा. Then spermiation. What is spermiation? Release of sperms from the Sertoli cells we call spermiation. So let me ask you the questions here. What is primary spermatocyte? Diploid or haploid? So आपको बोलना पड़ेगा. Primary spermatocyte. Diploid or haploid? Very good. चलो एक एक करके पूछेंगे हम. Secondary spermatocyte का बोलो बेटा. Secondary spermatocyte, diploid or haploid? Okay, spermatid. Haploid. Spermatozoa haploid. Spermatogonia. Spermatogonia is diploid or haploid? Okay, very good. Then meiosis 1. During spermatogenesis, meiosis 1 performed by very good. Meiosis 1 performed by primary spermatocytes. Okay, meiosis 1 during spermatogenesis. So question ऐसा आएगा, So during spermatogenesis is a common process. Okay. So चलो इसको जोड़ेंगे मैं. During spermatogenesis पूरा बाकी का क्वेश्चन चेंज यहाँ पे हो रहा है. During spermatogenesis, primary spermatocyte undergo meiosis 1. Okay. Secondary spermatocytes undergo meiosis 2. Okay. During spermatogenesis, type of division in spermatid. Type of division in spermatid. Just I am waiting for answer. Type of division in spermatid. नहीं spermatid में division क्या हो रहा है? Very good, very good. There is no division in the spermatid. There is no division. Division कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. चलो एक बार देखेंगे वो भी. तो क्या बोले हम? Primary spermatocyte undergo meiosis 1 and form secondary spermatocyte 2. Okay. Secondary spermatocyte undergo meiosis 2 and it forms spermatid. Spermatid के बाद division नहीं हो रहा है. There is no division. Division is mature that happening only in primary spermatocyte and secondary spermatocyte. So बाद में we can say spermatid will develop or mature or differentiate in the form of spermatozoa. Okay. So finally we can say here a primary spermatocyte results into the formation of 4 sperms. So ये भी क्वेश्चन बनेगा बेटा. How many spermatids are formed from each secondary spermatocyte? How many secondary spermatocytes are formed from each primary spermatocyte? This is also going to be the question. Then after spermiogenesis, sperm head become embedded in the serotoli cells. Then they are released from seminiferous tubule. What do you say it as? Spermiation. We call it as spermiation. Then role of hormones in spermatogenesis. Role of hormones in spermatogenesis. इसके बारे में थोड़ा डिस्कशन भी हुआ हमारा लास्ट वीक पे. That just revising this area. Hypothalamus से GnRH है ना हार्मोन. The gonadotropin releasing hormone released from the hypothalamus, which acts on pituitary, which make the secretion of 2 gonadotropins like FSH and LH. FSH follicle stimulating hormone, which acts on the serotoli cells that stimulate the secretion of the factors for spermiogenesis. Then that luteinizing hormone, which acts on the Leydig cell, which make the secretion of androgen and stimulate the spermatogenesis. As I said to you, ऐसे ही दिया NCERT में, आपको ऐसे ही फोकस करना पड़ेगा. डायरेक्ट लाइन आएगा. So that's why you need to focus here. Okay, so this is what hormonal regulation ka. Very simple in compare with the female. So structure of spermatozoa, as we said earlier, that head, middle piece, tail. That head is at the tip. It contains Golgi complex. The Golgi complex is modified into acrosome, we can say, which contain a lot of enzymes. And the middle piece ka dekho beta, middle piece, which has mitochondrium, which is going to form that acts as the energy source while sperm is moving towards the fallopian tube of the female, whereas tail is having axial filament. That axial filament is present in the tail, which makes the locomotion. A mature sperm is about 60 micron, 0.06 millimeter long, we can say, and the sperm is enveloped by plasma membrane. Whole sperm is enveloped by plasma membrane. As we said now, the sperm consists of three portions: head, middle piece, and tail. Then head is oval shape, formed nucleus and acrosome. Head is oval shape and formed of nucleus and acrosome. Acrosome, what we said, this is very big question it is, that acrosome is formed from Golgi complex. It contains lytic enzyme, and behind the head there is a neck. Middle piece composed of axial filament surrounded by mitochondria and cytoplasm, which that axial filament will continue towards the tail, and mitochondria produce energy for the sperm motility. The central axial filament of the tail. The sperm moves in the fluid medium and female genital tract by undulating movement of the tail itself. The human male ejaculates about 200 to 300 millions of sperms during a coitus, and for normal fertility, at least 60% of the sperms must have normal shape and size. 40% of them must show vigorous motility. So that is all about the sperms. And नंबर के बारे में पूछना है तो एक बार पूछेंगे वो भी. That let me check that we did last week 200 to 300 millions बोले ना, इसमें 60% of the sperms must have normal shape and size. So what is the number beta? What is the number? 200 to 300 millions में 60%. Yes, 120 millions to 180 million. Then ये क्या है? Having 40% of them must show vigorous motility. Very good. 48 to 72, we can say. Very good, very good. 48 to 72. Good. Chalo, we'll go to the oogenesis, production of ovum. Graphian follicles का सब layers बताए थे आपको. The formation and maturation of the ovum, and it takes place in Graphian follicles. Oogenesis initiated in embryonic stages when millions of egg mother cells are formed within each ovary. No more oogonia are formed and added after the birth. This is very important point. Okay. I got some questions, beta. LSD आई क्या? ओके ओके. एग्जाम का पेपर बोल रहे हैं. Okay, beta. Just give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Let me complete the oogenesis and then I'll come there. Okay. तो हमको ये पूछना था ना, कोई डाउट्स है क्या? ओके. Let me complete this. I'll come there. Okay. चलो. Graphian follicle का ये पूरा हो गया ना हमारा. Just we are making a small revision part. Then after we'll go to the fertilization. That's all. So that's why they are just the final clearance there on the different issues. बोले ना इसके बारे में, that Graphian follicle के बारे में, layers के बारे में, that number के बारे में पूरा हो गया ना. So formal completion कर रहा हूँ मैं. So let me complete this oogonia तक. It takes place in Graphian follicle. Oogenesis initiated in embryonic stages when 1 or 2 millions दिया ना NCERT में, egg mother cells are formed within each ovary. but no more oogonia are formed and added after birth. That very, very, very important thing you have to remember. Okay. Then oogonia multiply to form primary oocytes. They enter into prophase 1 of the meiosis and get temporarily arrested at that stage. Okay. Can anyone answer me? This temporary arrest minimum time and maximum time? A temporary arrest का minimum time and maximum time? meiosis 1 prophase 1 में temporarily arrest बोल रहे हैं ना, minimum time and maximum time. Minimum 10 years. Okay. Minimum बोल रहे हैं या maximum? Okay. Minimum 10 years. 10 to 12. Maximum time. Yeah. Very good. 50 years or 45 years. Meiosis 1, prophase 1 में itself, it will stay for 40 years. Super. That means you understand well. Each primary oocyte gets surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells to form primary follicle. यहाँ पे थोड़ा आगे बताए थे आपको, हम primordial follicle भी बोले थे हम. Simple squamous epithelium वाला primordial follicle and diagram you can see. वो बनेगा primary follicle. Then the developmental stages will go on. A large number of primary follicle degenerate during the phase from birth to puberty. Therefore, at puberty, only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are left in each ovary. Then how many a female require maximum? 60,000 to 80,000 बोले थे हम, but how many a female require maximum in her lifetime? 520. Calculations तो किए थे हम, that 520 is the maximum, not in all the cases. Less than 520 she is going to produce in her lifetime. We can say here no female can produce more than 520. A layer of granulosa cells surrounding a primary oocyte. You can see here a granulosa cells का diagram के साथ दिखाए थे आपको पहले. Then someone asked me after the class of the day, tertiary follicle में प्राइमरी oocyte डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है बोल के है सर टेक्स्ट बुक में, ऐसा कुछ बोले थे. तो उसका भी आंसर मिलेगा अभी. क्या है बेटा, ये प्राइमरी फॉलिकल का डेवलपमेंट बाहर हो रहा है ना, अंदर सेकेंड प्राइमरी oocyte का भी डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है. मींस डिवीजन हो रहा है प्राइमरी oocyte का. वो पैरेलल इवेंट्स है, आपको ये समझना होगा. तो बाहर क्या बोले हम, सिंपल क्यूबॉइडल स्क्वैमस होगा, क्यूबॉइडल के साथ क्यूबॉइडल है, सिंपल स्क्वैमस है तो क्या बोले हम, प्राइमोर्डियल फॉलिकल ना. देन सिंपल स्क्वैमस बन गया, देखो ये प्राइमरी oocyte है सर, सिंपल स्क्वैमस से सिंपल क्यूबॉइडल बन गया. प्राइमरी oocyte यहां से दिया एनसीईआरटी में, पहले भी बताया हमको आपको. प्राइमोर्डियल फॉलिकल विच कंटेन सिंपल स्क्वैमस एपिथेलियम. सो ये क्यूबॉइडल बने तो क्या बोलेंगे हम, प्राइमरी फॉलिकल कंटेनिंग प्राइमरी oocyte. सो देन क्यूबॉइडल सेल्स का डेवलपमेंट देख सकते हैं आप यहाँ पे. तो क्या बोलेंगे इसको हम, सेकेंडरी फॉलिकल. देन the development is going on, fluid filled cavity antrum is developed, theca layer is formed, outer theca, inner theca, theca externa, theca interna. Then जब ये बाहर के चेंजेस हम बोल रहे हैं ना, अंदर भी थोड़ा चेंजेस हो रहे हैं. देखो primary oocyte which is there in meiosis 1 and prophase 1 is developing into secondary oocyte, है ना. fully mature follicle में क्या होगा बेटा, primary oocyte का development into secondary oocyte, प्राइमरी फॉलिकल का डेवलपमेंट इनटू ग्राफियन फॉलिकल. सो क्या रहेगा यहाँ पे, थीका एक्सटर्ना, थीका इंटरना. ये येलो वाला ये भी नाम बताए थे आपको, मेम्ब्रेना ग्रैन्युलोसा, ग्रैन्युलोसा सेल्स बोला यहाँ पे. एंथ्रम कैविटी रहेगा, करोना रेडिएटा एंड जोना पेलिसिडा, जोना पेलिसिडा. देन सेकेंडरी oocyte, फुल्ली मेच्योर फॉलिकल है वो. दिस इज व्हाट अगेन द डायग्राम इज शोन ओवर टू यू. चलो ये देख सकते हैं आप यहाँ पे. theca externa, theca interna and the granulosa cells. Then they have membrana granulosa, that secondary oocyte का outer layer, corona radiata. Next excuse, corona radiata, then zona pellucida, perivitelline space, ये है secondary oocyte. Still it is connected with the granulosa cell. क्या बोले इसको हम? Cumulus oophorus. So the primary oocyte within the tertiary follicle grows in size and undergoes first unequal meiotic division. ऐसा दिया देखो बेटा एनसीईआरटी में. Within the tertiary follicle grows in size and undergo first unequal meiotic division to form a large haploid secondary oocyte. But shuru, we can say here these are the parallel events. Formation of primary follicle to the tertiary follicle, development of the primary oocyte into the secondary oocyte, that we can say. But अगर statement ऐसा पूछे तो primary oocyte within the tertiary follicle grows in size, undergo first unequal meiotic division to form a large haploid secondary oocyte and a tiny first polar body. अगर statement ऐसा है तो सही बोल सकते हैं because एनसीईआरटी में हाई बोल के. Secondary oocyte retains the nutrient-rich cytoplasm of the primary oocyte. It is unknown that whether the first polar body, क्या होगा first polar body का, तो ये तो हमको मालूम नहीं. Divides or further degenerate, that we don't know. The tertiary follicle further changes into the mature follicle. What do you say? It has Graafian follicle, है ना? Graafian follicle. And the secondary oocyte forms a new membrane, zona pellucida. Secondary oocyte when anthem is formed. Yeah, wait. Anthem, ये anthem है ना बेटा? When anthem is formed, whenever these granulosa cells are getting separated, ऊपर का ग्रैन्युलोसा सेल्स को मेम्ब्रेना ग्रैन्युलोसा, नीचे का ग्रैन्युलोसा सेल्स को करोना रेडिएटा जब बोलते ना, then it form the anthem cavity. So that means here एक बार आपको यहाँ पे दिखाएंगे. पर secondary follicle, tertiary follicle बन रहा है ना, at the time you can see the cavity formation, anthem cavity formation. But इतना डेप्थ तो नहीं आ गया आएगा क्वेश्चन, इतना डेप्थ तो नहीं आएगा. इतना बड़ा बड़ा डाउट्स क्यों आ रहा है आपको? That you people might learn huge depth, बहुत बार पढ़े ना, so that's why that minute issues even you are able to recognize it. चलो देखो ये स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो चाहिए तो. सेकेंडरी से टर्शियरी हो रहा है ना, वहां पे anthem cavity is going to be formed. So the tertiary follicle further changes into the mature follicle and secondary oocyte forms a new membrane. What do you say? Zona pellucida. Finally, zona pellucida is formed. Graafian follicle now ruptures to release the secondary oocyte from the ovary, which it is called as ovulation. So this is what happening. Oogonia, diploid state ka oogonia with 46 chromosomes. They undergo mitotic division. Primary oocyte, ये mitotic division कब होगा बेटा? Only during that particular female is in mother's uterus, embryonic stages में होगा. Then primary oocyte that grow in size, that क्या बनेगा ये primary oocyte? Meiosis 1 that completes and form the secondary oocyte and that polar body, ये है बेटा polar body. इसके बारे में क्या बोले? That we don't know whether it is going to form a new is going to form a particular development meiosis 2 होगा या नहीं, we don't know बोले हम यहाँ पे. चलो ये secondary oocyte first polar body, then secondary oocyte is going to form meiosis 2 and going to form haploid ovum. Ovum को directly क्या बोला? ooted. This is the word you have to notice over in NCERT. ooted बोले थे. So then can anyone say कब होगा ये meiosis 2 continuation? meiosis 2 metaphase 2 तक हो गया ना. meiosis 2 metaphase 2 ये कहाँ पे रहेगा बेटा? This secondary oocyte, this is what secondary oocyte, this is the secondary oocyte actually. So ये secondary oocyte में हम क्या पूछ रहे हैं अभी? This secondary oocyte which is there in meiosis 2 मेटाफेज 2 में है ना ये, मियासिस 2 एंड मेटाफेज 2। कब होगा ये डिवीजन कंप्लीशन, एनाफेज 2 एंड मेटाफेज 2? Very good, very good. When sperm penetrate the secondary oocyte, meiosis 2 is completed. Super, super. Okay. Then ootyte बोल सकते हैं इसको, ovum को ootyte. Generally ovum that in various areas they use that word ovum. Okay, but ootyte the word only used after meiosis 2 के बाद में जो कुछ बोला था वो ootyte, that particular word is only at the time. So चलो एक बार आपको फिर in this particular area we have multiple dimensions है ना, यहाँ पे एक बार और पूछेंगे आपको that meiosis 1 and prophase 1 टाइम देखे थे हम, that you are perfect enough. अब हमको क्या चाहिए, लोकेशन चाहिए, in which places these things are going to be performed over. meiosis 1 को एक एक करके पूछेंगे. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट मी आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन हियर. meiosis 1 prophase 1 लोकेशन बताइए. Okay, I think you didn't understand what I am saying. ऑप्शंस देंगे आपको, ऑप्शंस देंगे. ओवरी, fallopian tube, uterus, outside the body. क्वेश्चन पूरा लिख रहे हैं हम. meiosis 1 prophase 1 of primary oocyte occurs at yes ovary. It occurs at ovary because meiosis 1 prophase 1 is at ovary. या मदर्स यूटेरस में भी ये पर्टिकुलर ओवरी meiosis 1 completed. चलो आप बोलो. meiosis 1 completed. अच्छा, ये भी meiosis 1 भी यहाँ पे हो रहा है क्या? वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. इन द ओवरी इटसेल्फ, लोकेशन ओवरी. meiosis 2 metaphase 2. meiosis 2 metaphase 2. ऑप्शन नंबर दे सकते हैं आप, जस्ट नंबर तो डाल दीजिए, पूरा टाइप करने की जरूरत ही नहीं. या अभी या डाइवर्सिफाइड आंसर्स आ रहे हैं अभी. सम आर सेइंग ओवरी एंड ओके, टू अवॉइड कंफ्यूजन अप टू. अब आएगा आंसर, कुछ कंफ्यूजन तो नहीं यहाँ पे. अप टू meiosis 2 एंड मेटाफेज 2. या दैट्स इट. कंटिन्यूएशन का एनाफेज 2 एंड टेलोफेज 2. आप ये पूछे तो आपको बताना पड़ेगा fallopian tube, एनाफेज 2 एंड टेलोफेज 2. of secondary oocyte, because तब तक ओवम तो नहीं बोल सकते ना, secondary oocyte occurs at, ये बड़ा क्वेश्चन बनेगा, occurs at yes, it occurs at fallopian tube. Okay, so because this is the most complicated part, that's why थोड़ा time लिए हम. स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ओवम एक बार देखेंगे स्ट्रक्चर. यहाँ पे देखो बेटा, अंदर न्यूक्लियस है, then the first polar body which is formed here, still it is there, that cannot be released out. Okay, and ये spherical है, non motile, only sperm is motile, 0.2 mm in diameter. It has 3 membranes, plasma membrane or oolemma, which is the innermost layer, surrounded by perivitelline membrane or plasma membrane बोल सकते हैं इसको. Zona pellucida आएगा, then surround this, outer to the plasma membrane zona pellucida आएगा. तो ये plasma membrane को ही we am using most of the time, the word I use perivitelline membrane बोलते हैं ना, इसको ही बोलते हैं हम. Corona radiata, outer layer formed of follicular cells, ये है corona radiata. That these cells of corona radiata are going to be attached each other by hyaluronic acid and enzyme. इसलिए हमको चाहिए an enzyme, hyaluronic acid is a chemical, so इसलिए हमको चाहिए an enzyme called hyaluronic acid oxidase enzyme चाहिए हमको ये break करने के लिए. क्या बेटा? How secondary oocyte reaches fallopian tube? अगर non motile है तो how secondary oocyte reaches to the non fallopian tube, इसके बारे में हम the female reproductive system में भी itself we said होगा. कब कैसे बोले हम? या वेरी गुड, वो भी एक बार क्लैरिटी देंगे आपको. फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम में क्या बोला बेटा हम? ये देखिए, ये फिंगर लाइक प्रोजेक्शंस है ना, ओवरी से ओवुलेशन होने के बाद ये सेकेंडरी oocyte with the 3 layers will be released into the coelomic cavity. So then वहां से कलेक्शन होगा with fimbriated funnels, है ना. Then infundibulum, यहाँ से कैसे आएगा? आपको फर्स्ट ईयर में मिलता आंसर. The lining is ciliated columnar epithelium, है ना. The lining of this particular fallopian tube is with ciliated columnar epithelium, which makes the movement of secondary oocyte towards fallopian tube. So inner lining को बोले ना हम fallopian tube बोल के. Wait a minute. Excuse me. जस्ट हमको डिफरेंसेस देखना पड़ेगा स्पर्मेटोजेनेसिस का, oogenesis का. तो ये तो हो गया ना हमारा. देन लेट्स सी द डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन द स्पर्मेटोजेनेसिस एंड oogenesis. Spermatogenesis occurs in testis. Oogenesis occurs in ovary. Spermatogenesis is a limited growth phase. Oogenesis को क्या बोले हम? Meiosis 1 शुरू होता when a female in the mother uterus, then meiosis excuse me, meiosis 2 का completion depends, है ना. then that's why we can say it's an elaborated growth phase. Next, each primary spermatocyte after the meiotic division, it gives 4 sperms. But उस साइड में क्या बेटा, सेकेंड पोलर बॉडी होने के बाद that primary oocyte का second after division it form a secondary oocyte and second polar body, है ना? Then after secondary that one ovum only going to be formed over, remaining all we say polar bodies itself. Then begins at puberty and extends up to senility till the particular person become old, that sperm production will be continuous. Begins at embryonic stage but suspends up to the puberty. It ceases around the age of 50 maximum, we say. Menopause बोल सकते हैं हम इसको. So we have some questions before you think about these questions. That I got some questions. Formation of sperm. Yeah, you are allowed. In seminiferous tubules is called. Straight question. Spermatogenesis. Confusion की जरूरत ही नहीं. Very good. Which of the following is or haploid? Which of the following are haploid? Are you sure? Secondary spermatocytes, spermatids, spermatozoa. Very good. All are haploid. All are haploid. Number of spermatids formed from each primary spermatocyte is. Number of spermatids formed. Very good. Very good. Super. Okay, very good. 2. Head of the sperm is formed of. ये एनसीईआरटी का डायरेक्ट लाइन है. You have to go through that particular line. क्या न्यूक्लियस एंड एक्रोसोम डायरेक्ट लाइन बोलना है. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया क्या है बेटा, मिडिल पीस का है ना. ओके. Number of primary follicles left in each ovary at puberty is about. No, don't do like that. Number of primary follicles left in each ovary at puberty is about. Yeah, 60,000 to 80,000. Very good. During oogenesis, the primary oocyte divides into. During oogenesis, the primary oocyte divides into haploid secondary oocyte and polar body, diploid secondary oocyte and polar body, two haploid secondary oocyte. So this is the answer. Very good. Haploid secondary oocyte and polar body. The layer of ovum formed of follicle cells is. Yeah, I think most confusion will come here because यहाँ पे थोड़ा clarity तो नहीं है ना एनसीईआरटी में, इसलिए. Zona pellucida is a glycoprotein layer, beta. Okay, the follicular cells formed is corona radiata. The follicular granular cells are going to form from corona radiata. That is the actual confusion always people will have. ये आंसर corona radiata होगा. ये तो एनसीईआरटी में नहीं है. Corona radiata is the answer. Chalo, we'll do it tomorrow, the menstrual cycle. But I got some 2 questions here now. I got 2 questions here. One is LSD is. कल का क्वेश्चन है ना ये? कल का क्वेश्चन. What is LSD? LSD को हम बोलेंगे लाइसर्जिक एसिड डाइइथाइल अमाइड. वेरी गुड, आंसर आ गया. लाइसर्जिक एसिड डाइइथाइल अमाइड. यहाँ पे क्या है बेटा? ऑप्शंस बोले थे. It's an hallucinogenic, it's a sedative, and it's a stimulant or a tranquilizer. Hallucinogenic, sedative, stimulant, and a tranquilizer. So I think, do we have representation in NCERT? नहीं तो भी आंसर तो ये होगा hallucinogenic. Okay, okay, very good, very good. Immediately people are answering. Okay. Next question I got as a doubt. Which of the following techniques is safest for the detection of cancer? Which of the following technique is safest? I think so. This actually debatable question it is. NCERT में तो नहीं, I think so.